Hi. Hello, hello. Okay, I am trying something different this week. I'm trying to go live from Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So let me post this to Instagram. Hey, pin my comment. Perfect. Okay, so I'm doing Facebook and Instagram at the same time. Now I typed my topic in on Facebook and I guess it didn't pin, but that's okay. There we go. Okay. Hi. Okay. Great. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This week we're going to be talking about hair thinning. And I'm going to be looking back and forth because, like I said, I'm going to be live on Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So we're going to see how this works. This week we're going to be talking about hair thinning, why it may thin, and ways that you can prevent the thinning. So I have a few different ways that you can prevent thinning and a few different reasons why thinning may happen. So first, thinning happens for a lot of reasons. Like I said before, thinning can happen from stress. It can happen from lack of vitamins. It can happen from lack of proper moisture. It can happen from heredity, hormone imbalance, and specific to hormones, it can happen from postpartum loss, or it can happen because you have a hormonal imbalance, which I'll talk about. It can also happen from medications. Certain medications cause the hair to thin or cause the hair to fall out. It can happen from tension or constant pulling of the hair. It can happen from combing your hair too rough, especially when it's wet. And it can also happen from lack of nutrition or lack of nutrients, if you're not working out, if you're not eating right, if you're not drinking enough water. And if you dry your hair too rough, if you have a towel and you kind of rough it up like this, it can definitely have an effect on your hair thinning out or your hair falling out. Think those things. Now I'm sure there are more things that can thin your hair. There are more things that can cause the hair to fall out. Even if you're not getting your ends trimmed, that's another way that eventually your hair can start falling out. It doesn't happen immediately, but those are things that can happen. Some things you want to look out for when you are noticing thinning in the hair. You'll notice a lot more shedding in the hair. You'll notice long hair strands, not short hair strands. The short hair strands that come out are breakage. So you have to be careful with knowing the difference between what breakage is and what actual shedding is. So longer hair strands that look about the length of your hair are going to be shedding. So if you notice a lot more shedding than normal, or you notice like in your brush, or you notice when you run your fingers through a lot more hair comes out, or you're noticing that places that weren't thin before are looking a little bit more thin than normal. Those are things that you need to pay attention to. If you notice it in a specific area, one thing that you could do is, I always tell people, take a picture. Take a picture and then look at it again 30 days later and see if there's any change. Now, the change can be as subtle as you notice like there's a lot of hair that's coming out. Or you can notice a change where it's just, like I said before, a lot more than normal or a little bit more than normal. So taking that picture is going to be important for you, keeping an eye on whether that hair is thinning or not. Excuse me. So taking a picture, you want to take a picture of the shedding and taking a picture of the specific area if that's your problem area. So like I said, I'm looking back and forth because I'm trying to do Facebook Live and Instagram Live at the same time to make sure that I try, different ways to reach people and give them knowledge. So those are ways that hair can thin out. Oh, so thank you for that comment. That's another thing that can cause hair thinning is heredity. That's another thing that was on my list to talk about. Heredity also plays a part in your hair thinning, and how much hair falls out, when it falls out, things like that. So ways that we can prevent thinning or our hair falling out. Always make sure that you're taking some type of vitamin, a multivitamin. If you lack vitamin D, which some people do lack, or you're lacking vitamin C, or you're lacking iron, a lack of those things can cause your hair to become dry. They can cause your hair to become brittle, and it can cause your hair to fall out. So you want to make sure that you pay attention to those things. Making sure that you are on a multivitamin, making sure that if your doctor tells you that you're lacking that vitamin, go to your local health food store and grab those vitamins or grab those things that you need in order to keep your body healthy, because the hair starts on the inside. Making sure that you're eating a balanced diet. So whatever a balanced diet is for you, eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. Every doctor will always recommend you eat tons of fruits and vegetables, drink tons of water, because the hair starts internally before it comes out of our head. So we want to make sure that as it's starting and as it comes out of the head, that we give it its best chance to grow. Okay. Another thing that I see you all's questions. Thank you so much. I'll make sure that I answer those also. Another thing that you want to make sure that you're paying attention to help prevent it is I don't know why I just lost my train of thought. So when we talk about heredity, and making sure that you pay attention to those things. Now, heredity, you cannot stop. We did one of my first live videos was talking about heredity and the effect that heredity has. It is nothing you could do to fight that, okay? It's nothing you could do to fight. Your parents went bald at a certain age, maybe in their 20s or 30s or something, and you starting to notice that as you're in your 20s and 30s, your hair is starting to thin out. It's nothing you can do to stop the hair from falling out. There are things you can do to slow it down. So I have a couple questions here on Instagram that talk about biotin. Biotin is one of the other lives that we did, and biotin does work. Biotin does help the hair grow, but keep in mind that biotin is going to help the hair grow everywhere. So if you grow a mustache, if you grow facial hair, you growing hair under your arms, it's going to help the hair everywhere grow, not just the hair on your head. Now, it doesn't prevent the hair from falling out, but it can definitely help slow the process. Okay. Kiki oil can definitely help. Like I said, it doesn't help stop the process, but it can definitely help slow it down to give your hair the longevity, or to kind of catch it as it's going and give your hair a little bit to slow the process down. Those are the words I'm looking for. So you can make sure that you are doing that. So like I said, the hair starts on the inside. Make sure that you are paying attention to the medications that you're on. For example, I know that some ADHD medications and some depression medications can cause the hair to fall out. So make sure that when you go get your prescription from wherever you get it from, that you pay attention to what those side effects are, because they will tell you what the side effects are and if those side effects are causing the hair to fall out. Okay. So then we talked about hormonal imbalances and postpartum. Those are things that can cause the hair to fall out also. Now, the great thing about postpartum is that most times when the hair falls out because of postpartum, it grows back. So you don't have to worry about your hair staying that way forever. Most times it does grow back. Now, if you have a hormonal imbalance, for example, I have a hormonal imbalance called PCOS, or polycystic ovarian syndrome, that causes my hair to become extremely thin. It causes my hair to shed a lot. So some things that I have done to make sure that I help the process and make sure that I'm slowing it down is I make sure I drink plenty of water. I drink at least half my body weight in ounces every day. I make sure that I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. I make sure that I take my vitamins every day, and I also make sure that I use my kiki oil, because those are things that that have been proven to help me and help my shedding and help my hair fill out. Okay, so those are some things that you can do. Now, another thing that you can do, we talked about stress being one of the factors that can cause our hair to fall out. try to de-stress as much as possible. I know it's easier said than done, but de-stressing or stressing in general is going to be a big cause for our hair to become dry and brittle and for it to fall out. Remember, we said that the hair follicles and the hair growth starts on the inside. So we want to make sure that as it starts on the inside, that we give it its best chance to grow. Okay, so things that you could do to de-stress: yoga, working out, taking a bike ride, taking a walk, doing things like that, keeping your body active keeps those stress hormones down and make sure that you're giving your hair the best chance to grow. I know they even have stress balls. Try one of those stress balls if you're feeling stressed out, if that's something that works for you. Okay. We talked about tension being one of the reasons that hair can be thinning out. Make sure that if you are wearing a lot of braids, you're wearing a lot of sew-ins, you're wearing a lot of weaves, you're wearing a lot of wigs, things like that can cause your hair to have something that we call tension alopecia or alopecia areata, where you have one specific spot that is thin or balding, or you have specific area around your edges you're causing your hairline to recede because you're constantly pulling those areas. So make sure to give your hair the best chance to grow in those cases, or to give your hair the best chance to continue to grow. Make sure you give your hair a break in between weaves. Give your hair a break in between braids. Don't wear them all the time. Braids should not be the only thing you do with your hair. They should not be weaves, and wigs should not be the only thing that you do with your hair. You should definitely give your hair a break, because those things do cause a lot of tension, and our hair is already fragile as it is. So we want to make sure, like I said before, we're giving our hair the best chance to grow. When you're combing your hair, make sure you always comb the hair from the ends to the scalp. Don't start here and start brushing. When you start doing that, you're pulling the hair out from the scalp or from the base. The more you do that, the constant pulling, you're not giving your hair enough time to nourish itself, or what we call nourish the papilla of your hair follicle. And you keep doing that over and over again, your hair won't grow back in that area, or whatever area that you are pulling in. Okay. So make sure that when it's wet, you are really gentle with detangling and really gentle with pulling that hair. Drying that hair. Towel drying. Please do not take your towel and do this all over. Okay, you want to lightly dab, you want to lightly press. Those are things that are going to keep our hair in the best shape possible. Those are things that are going to prevent our ends from splitting. And making sure, like I said before, we're giving our hair the best chance at survival, giving our hair the best chance to grow. Okay, so I've given ways that our hair can be thinning, and things that you can do to look out for it, why it may happen, and ways that you can prevent it. Okay, I'm gonna go through and see if I don't have any questions on Facebook, but I'm gonna go through and see if I have any questions on on Instagram. I'm sorry, and see what we have here. Okay, someone said they're out here looking like LeBron after playing the Warriors. Okay, well, we want to make sure that you are following these tips to keep your hair in the best shape possible. Okay, excuse me one second. Okay, sorry about that. The wind is blowing real bad out here, so something just hit my door and caused my dog to become a little bit wild. One of the things, like I said before, I was looking at the questions. We talked about what biotin help and does it help the hair grow. Somebody said, I'm just going to use the kiki oil instead of biotin. I feel like my hair will grow everywhere else but my head. Mine too. So that's why I don't fool with biotin. That's why I have a love-hate relationship with biotin. I make sure that I just keep up... I make sure I just keep up with my kiki oil, drinking plenty of water, eating a lot of fruits and vegetables to make sure that I keep my hair in the best shape and healthiest way possible, and making sure that I get my ends trimmed. Actually, my hairstylist is actually on here, Miss Mayone. She is amazing. She's your favorite stylist. She wonderful. He asked a great question, answered the dog. I know who was outside. I made sure that I looked outside to see who was out there. There was nobody out there though, thank goodness. But thank you guys so much for joining my live. We are live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to try to go live on Facebook and Instagram and see how that works out. But you know, Instagram, y'all keep it live, y'all keep it good every week. And then my last comment was, my hair is definitely thicker since using the oil. Yeah, it definitely works. And Miss Mayone is on here and giving me some smiley faces. She definitely keeps my hair looking great and looking good, keeping it healthy. Thank you all so much for joining. I'll see you guys next Thursday. I appreciate you all joining me every week. We are live again every Thursday, 7 p.m. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.